was once sitting with Anne at the dinner, and I asked her, what do you do? And she was a project manager of a project where Bring, Norwegian Mail, had bought up several companies and merged them into this new concept, Bring. And they had taken all their web portals for all these different companies they had bought and all the services and shut down all of the websites and created this new web portal to sell all the services. The idea was, of course, that when you get one company, one place to go with many services within, it had to do with packaging, Norwegian Mail, like on a business to business and business to consumer, not consumer to consumer services. When you had one place to go, the business would go up. You get synergy effects and sales. And she was responsible for creating this web portal. And I asked her, well, how is it going? And she was like a month or two ago, they had launched on a date. The date was very critical to get right because it was like a big launch date of this concept. And they were live and the website worked. And from a technical perspective, everything was good. But sales were substantially down. This synergy effect that they had hoped for didn't happen at all. They went completely the other direction. Sales were down. The various business owners of these businesses that they had bought up were screaming and yelling. Nobody was happy. So now the question is, what happened before here? Why had they not managed to focus on creating success from the very beginning? There were some C-level executives that were pitched these ideas, that came up with these ideas. They had discussions, and somehow everybody had agreed and nodded to something that didn't lead to success.
You gave one clue right away. They were in Big Bang mode. Everything happened at once. They didn't ease their way in proving that it would work.
The reason for this was that it was kept secret. So basically, this whole Bring idea was this idea of, okay, we'll take over lots of the key businesses that deal with business to business and business to consumer services for packaging and mail and junk mail and whatnot. And so it was like a big reveal of the logo, of the brand, of the concept. So they couldn't, maybe they could, but in their eyes, they couldn't just reveal the small part of that and a little. They wanted it to be a big bang. So, but somehow, the story went on that I helped them to focus on the values of sales and improving the sales, etc. And they did that, right? We quantified the values. We looked at the stakeholders, quantified the values, and made decisions on how that led us to creating these values. But that's not what this is about. What we're going to talk about on this podcast is how to, as a CEO or a C-level executive, you get presented ideas, you get pitched on this project or that project. How do you push back? How do you ask the right questions?
Without seeming like a fool.
Yeah. So, any ideas, Tom? Because we deal with this quite a bit and we give a lot of advice on this to C-level executives.
Okay.
And we help them out.
The first thing is you will get claims. They will be formulated on slides and other things that this pitch will be good for this and good for that. Better things will happen. It will enable other things to happen.
What did you say? This bitch?
Pitch.
Oh, there's like this bitch.
I wouldn't say that on a podcast. Okay. Anyway, but so your first pushback is, thank you for telling me that this will help security, but would you please tell me how much it will help security?
I can't help getting the bitch out of my head. This bitch will help security.
This bitch will help security, yeah. So your first question is, how much will it help secure? When there's an assertion it will get better, you ask how much. You ask for a number. Second question. How much will it help us achieve the security goals we have, not just in general security gets better? Okay, and they might say, well, what security goals? Say, well, we haven't told you. So you're now pitching something which may have no relevance to our plans. So we start by sharing our plans, our numeric plans for how much security we need. And then you come back and tell us how much of that security you're going to give us.
Now,
then we'll have a relevant conversation.
But this assumes they have such a plan. So I think maybe first piece of advice before you get pitched to is to clarify your plan. What are you actually trying to achieve?
Share your secret plan with your potential suppliers so they can supply you with success.
But before that, you have to have the plan. That's what I'm saying. Because a lot of companies simply don't have such a plan.
Nope.
So once people are pitching to them, they have nothing to evaluate the pitch up against.
That's right.
So the first step to successfully sit there as a C-level executive and make decisions on what projects to take forward and what not, which direction to go. The first part is you need to sit down and figure out who are the stakeholders we are serving, what values are we giving them today, and what values are we aiming to give them in the future that is maybe better than the competitor, right? How can we give improvements to our customers, our stakeholders that are twice or 10 times as good as what we are doing currently and what our competitors are doing? Now, when people come in to pitch you things, you can go to your point.
So maybe it's as simple as this. When the pitch is being made, you have one page on your desk, which is your top 10 most critical value objectives, quantified. And you keep on asking yourself, what has this pitch got to do with my values on the table? And you remind them. Do you remember we sent you these top 10 values? We are asking what you're going to do for us here. You're not addressing the question, or you're not addressing it numerically, or you're only addressing one of the values. What about the other values? So keep your focus by having that shared information. What values are you trying to improve? And their pitch has to address those values, and you just keep on reminding them. Finally, you say, look, you guys didn't get it at all. You just came in with your standard pitch about how good you are. We did send you our quantified goals about how good we wanted to be. Let's just stop this meeting, which is obviously a waste of time. You go back and you tell us how much you're going to do for our goals. And why, by the way, how much you're going to guarantee that you're going to do it for the goals. At
so
what price?
That's the next question. So let's say that you have quantified, you want to reduce your maintenance costs by half. You want to improve your customer satisfaction rating from 6 to 9.
Yeah.
Right? Something like this. It's quantified. It's clear. Now I come in with a pitch and say, hey, I'm going to help you improve it to 9, and I'm going to help you reduce maintenance cost or development cost. Let's say maintenance cost. I'm going to help you reduce the maintenance cost as you asked for by using this blue product here, and it's really good.
Magic wand.
Yeah, the magic wand. Now, then what?
Then we have to ask questions like, what evidence do you have that will happen? Like, have you ever done this for another customer? Tell us about it, okay?
No, this is brand new, revolutionary.
Oh, okay. Well, why don't you try it out on somebody else? That's called scientific research. And come back when you have an industrial product that will guaranteed work for us. We're not interested in being your testing ground where you say, oh, sorry, it didn't work. It was new. That's just not interesting for us. Okay. So you have to give evidence that it'll work. Okay. You have to give us maybe even contract guarantees that it will work that way. What about no cure, no value, no pay? How does that sit with you? Or, oh, you expect us to pay even if it fails. That was interesting. It's not going to fail.
It's
How do
really
you know?
good.
Yeah.
You pay me a set amount, but I will not promise a set value amount back.
Yeah,
that's what happens all the time,
that's
right?
kind of one-sided.
So that's what happens
not nice.
all the time. It's like, yeah, the cost. We'll argue about the cost. Yeah, okay, so 1 million is the cost that you're going to pay me, and that's guaranteed. I get it guaranteed, right? I get it in my bank.
The contract.
Yeah. Now, what am I delivering to you? I'm delivering a blue pen, or
that blue pen is going to help security get much better.
A blue wand.
Blue wand.
Yeah. So what I should be able to, or what you should force your suppliers to, is to put in contract how much value of your values that you have specified, that you need, that they're going to give to you. Right?
Now, some of these pitches won't be outside suppliers, and they'll be your inside staff. And you can't write a contract with them so easily, but you can do other things. You say, look, who will take personal responsibility with a name on it for the result? Okay. You're looking for it. Okay. And by the way, that's not enough. It said, I want you guys to make sure that you do this in small, early increments so we can see that it is really happening, so we can adjust things if it is not happening, so we can cancel it if it repetitively doesn't happen. I don't want to make a big 5-year, 5 million bet on the fact we know you believe in it. We believe you believe in it, but we're here to be responsible for corporate spending and corporate results. So we need ways of guaranteeing them. Since we can't write a contract with you, the in-house contract is you will do it in small increments. They will be measurable. If it's going fine, we will continue. If not, we will adjust. And if we can't adjust, we will stop.
So this is, in fact, the most effective risk mitigation technique we know about.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
That's what we're doing. That's
small increments. Adjust if it isn't working.
Well, small increments of value delivered to stakeholders, not small increments
We're talking a week or two at a time, by the way, not 1 year at a time, maybe small for some things, but we're talking very small increments that force people to get real, to deliver something real to real people of your stakeholders. And there's no reason not to do that except ignorance of how to do it. Okay? And we've been practicing this for decades. We've written down how to do it. We'll teach you how to do it. You can read how to do it.
But will you do it? That's the question.
Do you really want to divide things into small increments of value delivery? Okay. There's if your people don't know how to do it, ask them to read one of our books or go on one of our courses or something like that.
We have a paper called 12 Tough Questions.
Yep.
It's just for this very purpose. So whenever you get a pitch, we have written down 12 questions that you need to ask the guys pitching to you. And, So in addition to your one-page critical requirements, you could have another page called the 12 Tough Questions. And actually, once I printed those tough questions on the back of my business card, and I would hand my business card to the executives. And it was kind of fun. A few days later, I'd maybe meet the executive in the parking lot, and he'd wave the card at me and said, "Boy, have I been having fun at my meetings. I can now push back." I was afraid to push back because I didn't really understand all that technology they're trying to tell me. These questions allow me, with low profile and low risk, to ask some significant questions and force them to get real about their offer or get out. So here are some of the questions. Number 1, numbers. Why isn't the improvement quantified?
Yeah, it's always bullshitted, rarely quantified.
Number 2, risk. What is the risk or uncertainty and why?
You mean there's no risk? It's guaranteed to happen. New technology, you never did it before. You must be very innocent or you must be lying.
Number 3, doubt. Are you sure? If not, why not?
Well, if it doesn't work, can we cut off your arm? That's a very dramatic question. If their arm involuntarily goes like that, they're afraid that maybe they won't deliver and their arm will get cut off.
Number 4, source. Where did you get that from? And can I check it out?
Yeah, well, it's confidential, you see, so we can't really tell you anymore.
Number 5, impact. how does your idea affect my goals?
By the way,
specific
we
goals?
haven't shared our goals with you yet. So how do you know it's got anything to do with us? Why did you not ask us what our goals were, address our goals with your pitch? Why are you wasting our time?
I see this. This is so funny. I mean, this is all over the place. It's like, oh, look at this beautiful magic wand. It's fantastic. It'll do all kinds of nice things. But how does that relate to your specific goals is not addressed? So it's just like, I don't know. Okay, number 6, all critical factors. Did we forget anything critical?
Like whether it would violate the European Union privacy laws. Okay.
Number 7, evidence. How do you know if it works that way?
Well, it did once before. Yeah, but we're different. Once before that was a government institution and we're a private corporation. We may be different.
Number 8, enough. Have we got a complete solution?
Yeah, just because it helps security a little bit, does it help it enough? We want to get to 99.9% probability of discovering the hackers within 1 picosecond. How much are you going to deliver? Enough is our level, not your level of getting a little bit better.
Number 9, profitability first. Are we going to do the profitable things first?
So you have to decompose your solution so you can separate out those things that are very hot stuff and those things which will cost you little. And you have to have a policy of prioritizing high value for cost increments first. That's a systematic process of decomposition, of being numeric about the decomposed things, and prioritizing or choosing, having a policy of saying we will do the high value, low cost stuff, low risk stuff first.
Number 10, commitment. Who is responsible?
Right, and that brings up things like in the contract, who is responsible in your own organization, who am I going to talk to when it's not happening, whose job is on the line if it doesn't happen, that kind of thing.
Number 11, proof. How can we be sure the plan is working?
And there's only one way, small increments that are working. And if they're not, time to adjust or time to stop.
Number 12, no cure. Is it no cure, no pay in contract? And if why not?
We don't write contracts that way. Well, then you don't do business with us. Okay? We want you to have some skin in the game. You lose money if you don't deliver value to us. If you won't contract that way, we will find somebody else who will be happy to take our business and contract that way.
It's completely the opposite of what some people in the agile community is saying. Oh, we don't want a fixed budget, a fixed time. We can't, we want a floating everything.
Yeah.
Now, notice one thing is fixed. Their salary, right? They don't want a floating salary. They want fixed salary with a floating commitment to deliver value. Yeah. Actually, no commitment, probably a commitment to functions and features.
They have to feed their children. We understand that need for a constant income. Okay, but so we need a lot more contracts that reward delivery of value numerically. So that the suppliers are extremely focused on earning their money by delivering you the values you need. And those are our 12 tough questions.
Yeah.
For our friends at Intel, who are some of the best people using our methods, we wrote 20 tough questions, which are more technical. Let's say they're appropriate for the chief technical officer. The 12 tough questions are more appropriate for everybody in general and the CEO. So we'll make available the 20 tough questions for those of you who are more advanced and more technical. For example, chief technical officer.
Yeah, it should be in the text below the video and the blog.
Below
so. Yeah, both of them, the 12 tough questions and the 20 tough questions. They are similar, but the 12 tough questions are towards for use of C-level executives, and the 20 tough questions are for the project manager or product owner or the engineer to use.
And you have our permission to print the 12 tough questions on all of your corporate business cards, maybe with a little copyright Gilb, but you have our permission to print them. Get people thinking rationally about value, results, and costs.
Yeah.
Good time to stop. People got other things to do. They
Yeah,
want to
I
run
guess
off.
C-level executives are busy. They don't have
They've
time
already
to...
walked away to that next meeting.
Okay, so this is Tom Gilb, Kai Gilb. This is a ValueFirst podcast where we discuss things related to how to succeed in product development with our slant of focusing on values and stakeholders and no bullshit.
And one product is the corporation, which is the C-level executive's product.
Thank you very much. Take care.